1980, for it threw together the 2,000 guineas winner Known Fact and Chris, unbeaten as a 4-year-old. Known Fact was owned by Prince Khalid Abdullah and trained by Jeremy Tree and ridden by Willie Carson. Chris, carrying the famous apricot colours of Lord Howard de Walden, was the mount of Joe Mercer and trained by Henry Cecil. As the betting reflected, Chris was considered nigh on invincible. In 15 starts, he had been defeated only once by Tap on Wood in the 2,000 guineas. Known Fact's victory in the Guineas was completely overshadowed by the disqualification of the winner, Nureyev, whose jockey Philippe Paquet had been found guilty of reckless riding at the 2-furlong pole. Sadly, that was the last we saw of Nureyev, and an attack of bronchitis kept Known Fact off the track until mid-August. Likewise, Chris, because of a pulled muscle in his quarters, was off the track following 2 wins in May until mid-September. Both warmed up for their Ascot encounter with victories at Goodwood. Of the other 5 runners, only Hard Fought, the Jersey Stakes winner and the mount of Lester Piggott, was considered to have any chance of upsetting the big 2.
Leading Chris in second, then comes Known Fact and Hard Fought, then Gift Wrapped, and then God's Mark, and finally Hypodermic. And Starway setting a real blistering pace here from Chris in second, Hard Fought and Known Fact matching stride as they pass the 6 marker. Then comes Gift Wrapped and God's Mark, and finally Hypodermic. They're racing towards the 5-furlong pole in the Queen Elizabeth II Stakes, and Starway with a 4-length advantage now over Chris in second. Then comes Hard Fought third, and Known Fact 4, 5, 6 and 7 are Gift Wrapped, God's Mark and Hypodermic. They're racing to the half-mile pole now, and as they do so, it's still Starway clear of Chris in second. Known Fact on the outside, on the inside of Hard Fought. Then getting a lot closer to them is God's Mark. Then comes Gift Wrap, and Hypodermic is tailed off as they race round the home turn now with Starway leading Chris. Joe easing Chris towards the outside of Starway to begin his challenge early in the straight. Into the straight now, and Chris takes it up from Starway, being pressed now behind him by Known Fact, and then Hard Fought towards the outside, and now Chris going for home. Chris and Joe Mercer now from Willie Carson on Hard Fact. Then comes Hard Fought, and as they race down to the furlong pole, it's Chris on the far side from Known Fact, little between the 2. Chris the senior on the far side, Known Fact on the near side. Joe Mercer and Willie Carson as they race up towards the line. Chris on the far side, Known Fact on the near side. Known Fact with a fractional advantage. Chris fighting back. Known Fact is just going to win it. At the line, it's a photo with Known Fact probably just the winner from Chris. Then came Gift Wrapped and Hard Fought.
There was no doubt that Chris and the winner Known Fact were at their very best on this day at Ascot. It had been a furious pace from the start, and despite giving weight to the rest of the field, the 2 drew right away from the others in the final 2 furlongs. This was Chris's last race, and he retired to stud, the holder of 3 course records and the winner of 8 group races. The 1980 champion miler, Known Fact, stayed in training as a 4-year-old, but after a disappointing seasonal debut, wasn't seen out again. 8 years after his epic encounter with Chris, his son Warning claimed the Milers Championship with victory in the Queen Elizabeth II Stakes.
Got Soviet Star 9-4 with Warning joint favourites, 11-2 Persian Heights, 8-1 bar those 3. But Sol's who we're looking at now. Remember, Julian, at Lingfield when we were watching together, that he made Warning fight for a little bit in the last furlong. Warning just got the better of him, and everybody was a little bit inclined to come down on Warning. But what a performance that's proved to be.
And what a performance Persian Heights put up at the Royal Meeting. He won the St James's Palace Stakes. That was on top of the ground. Since then, he's had this disappointment in the Phoenix Champion Stakes, but there was an excuse for that because evidently he was injured on the journey over to Ireland. Just had a bit of trouble with his back, but that excellent chiropractor, Carol Whitwood, put his back right. Carol's done quite a bit of work for both my wife and I with a different type of horse, and she says she always knows when she's just managed to relieve a horse's discomfort, because when she's done her work, they always just give a little sigh.
That was a good performance in St James's Palace here, and I wonder, I think he was 100% right that day, perhaps the best he's been all season. Well, if he's back to that form, he's going to make all of the other 7 runners fight all the way to the line.
But he's on his toes, he's looking very alert, just a little bit warm. Bruce Raymond, who missed the first winner, well, he's sure to give this horse a great ride. Number 3, Indian Ridge, winner over the straight course here. The straight 7 furlongs from the Jersey Stakes, the mount of Brian Rouse. Quite likely that he'll go off in front today.
Yes, I think he's a better horse when he's striding along in front, and I think 1 or 2 of the other runners would be pleased to see him do it. So perhaps Brian Rouse can ride him from the front. He'll be going his own pace.
And of course the other horse who made running last time was Prince Rupert. So there's every reason to believe that this great race will be run at a true pace. What a race in prospect. Here's Peter O'Sullivan.
That's it. That's Kifar nearest to us. They're under orders. And they're away. South in the centre, and on the near side, Indian Ridge. Indian Ridge from South now. Prince Rupert up there. Then on the near side is Kifar. Just behind Kifar is Persian Heights. Then come Warning and Soviet Star together, and Magic of Life, the filly, just in behind them as Indian Ridge makes it. From Prince Rupert in second. Then Kifar third and South four now. And they're going a pretty good gallop. Persian Heights is fifth. They're racing down towards the 4 furlong pole. Indian Ridge is in the lead from Prince Rupert. Then on the outside, South, Kifar, Persian Heights. Then Warning and Magic of Life, and Soviet Star is the back marker of the 8 runners, and still Indian Ridge taking him along. From Prince Rupert in second and South third, and 4 Kifar. 5 then is Persian Heights. A little gap then to Warning, Magic of Life, and finally Soviet Star. And they're racing towards the home turn now in the Queen Elizabeth II Stakes, and as they do so, it's still Indian Ridge, the leader, from Prince Rupert in second. Then comes South, Kifar, Magic Strides, Persian Heights behind them. Warning is travelling very smoothly on the inside, being tracked by Soviet Star. They're racing towards the 2 furlong pole. Indian Ridge on the far side with a fractional advantage. South towards the near side between horses, Kifar. And here comes Warning towards the outside, being chased by Soviet Star. South has hit the front now, but Warning is coming there like a train. Pat Eddery with a double handful on the outside. It's Warning who's coming to take it up now. He's going to win this in most tremendous style. Warning is pulverizing them. He's striding clear to win this to tremendous applause here at Ascot. Warning has won the Queen Elizabeth II Stakes. South is second and Persian Heights third. 4 was Soviet Star and 5 Kifar. Then came Indian Ridge, Magic of Life, and finally Prince Rupert. And so the result of the Queen Elizabeth II Stakes of 1988 is first, number 7, Warning, owned by Mr. Khalid Abdullah, trained by Guy Harwood and ridden by Pat Eddery. Second was number 6, South, owned by Sheikh Mohammed, trained by Henry Cecil and ridden by Michael Roberts. And third was number 5, Persian Heights, owned by Prince Yazid Saud, trained by Jeff Huffer, ridden by Bruce Raymond. Soviet Star was 4th.
And this is the performance that stamps Warning a really great horse, a truly outstanding performance. He's all of 10 lengths off the pace coming into the straight, and Pat Eddery rode him with all the confidence of knowing that he got something special underneath him.
Guy Harwood said in the spring that this was probably the best miler he'd ever trained, and when you think what's been through his hands, well, he's proved it right today. They turn into the straight. There you can see Pat lying nearly back last of his field, but he's got his hands full when he asks this wonderful little colt by Known Fact to lengthen he does. He pulls some very good horses back. Souls, as you can see, has run the race of his life, and so has Persian Heights, because I think perhaps Warning, apart from Miesk, is the best miler we've seen for a long time.
Soviet Star came into the straight last. He was tracking Pat, but he never really looked like pulling him back. And look at the confidence Pat's riding with here. I thought too he really had given the horse something to do, but he's got there easily. It's only now when they pass the furlong, he's hit the front just inside the last furlong, that he shakes his reins, asked him to go away. At Goodwood we saw him go away and win a length and a half, 2 lengths. Look at the way he's done it today. This was true greatness. Funnily enough, that little cut in the guy might even have helped him. South runs on really well in second. Persian Heights has run a great race. Soviet Star just a little bit below standard today. But look at the distance between Warning and the second. That was greatness.
What a marvellous double for his lad there too. Steve Pearson, who won the £100 for the best turned out horse before the race, and he'll qualify for a little more than that now. That Warning has proved himself a real champion in this 154,000 to the winner, Queen Elizabeth II Stakes. Great run there by South, but this is the undisputed star. Second winner of the afternoon on Festival of British Racing Afternoon for the champion-elect Pat Eddery. Puts him on the 165 mark. A pat there from Mr. Khalid Abdullah, Prince Khalid, who races as Mr. Abdullah. Guy Harwood there, how thrilled he'll be with his back to us there. Just talking to Pat Eddery, how thrilled he'll be with this champion. Winner now of his 7th race, this colt by Known Fact out of Slightly Dangerous. Second, was South, and third was Persian Heights.
And first is number 7, Warning, 9 to 4.
Michael Roberts. 2 is Dictat, who's twice a Group 1 winner. John Reed is carrying the second set of Godolphin colours, the white distinguishing cap. Number 3 is Indian Lodge, last start winner of the Prix de Moulin at Longchamp. Cassius Mewson again in the saddle. 4 is Golden Silker, Craig Williams. Number 5 is Best of the Best, carrying the first set of Godolphin colours, Frankie Dettori. Number 6 is Giant's Causeway. During his career, he's won 6 Group 1s, 5 of them this season. Mick Cannan in the saddle again. Number 7 is Lermontov, Paul Scallon. Number 8, Manhattan, Seamus Heffernan. 9 is Medici and Pat Edery. Number 10, Observatory, Kevin Darley. 11 is Valentino, who is beaten only ahead by Giant's Causeway in the St James's Palace. Gerald Mosse in the saddle. And 12 is Crimpline, the triple Group 1 winning filly, Philip Robinson. So 12 to go. It's a vintage field for this Queen Elizabeth II Stakes over a mile, and here's a full show of betting from Angus Loughran.
Giant's Causeway was 13 to 8 in the offices this morning, has opened up 11 to 8 and gone 5 to 4. So good professional money for Giant's Causeway. Indian Lodge and Best of the Best and Crimpline and Medician, all easy to back, all drifting in the market. Observatory popular at 14 to 1. Valentino was well backed in the offices this morning, and that's popular each way at 16s. Dictat 20 to 1, and the real outsiders are Golden Silker at 50s, Al Mushtarak at 66, Lermontov at 100, and Manhattan at 200 to 1.
Ready? They stand, and they're racing. Missing the kick slightly was Valentino, and El Mushtarak is out the back early. Giant's Causeway began well and being hunted hard. Lermontov on the inside is going to make the early running. Up there as well, 2 out wider, Indian Lodge and Crimpline is crossing over from out deep on the track. Medician takes up a prominent position. Manhattan is right there as well in the van. In behind them is Dictat with a white cap. Best of the Best well back in the field with Valentino. Golden Silker is out the back with El Mushtarak. After 2.5 furlongs, Lermontov taking them along at a good gallop by 4 lengths to Crimpline, a half to Giant's Causeway, 2 lengths to Manhattan, scrubbed along, followed by Medici and Observatory. They've kicked away now by a couple of lengths as they race up the side of the course. Behind Observatory is Dictat deep on the track, followed by Best of the Best, and in the centre is Indian Lodge. Al Mushtarak giving them a start from Valentino and Golden Silker. They race up towards the entrance to the home straight, 3.5 furlongs to go. Lermontov moves off the fence, allows a saloon passage run to Giant's Causeway, the favourite, his stablemate. 3 parts away is Crimpline sitting there in third from Medici and hard ridden. They're followed by Observatory out wider with a pink cap. Best of the Best behind them from Dictat. Further back in the field then is Manhattan. Golden Silker heads a turn for home, and the favourite Giant's Causeway takes it up at the 2. Goes 2 in front now of Medici and Crimpline. Observatory in behind them. Best of the Best followed further back by Golden Silker. It's Giant's Causeway with a furlong left to go. He's 2 lengths in front. Observatory's the big danger, coming very wide and late. It's Giant's Causeway in front. Observatory wearing him down on the near side. Observatory ranges up. Giant's Causeway sees him, fights back. Too late. Observatory gets up to win from Giant's Causeway. Third then Best of the Best, followed by Medici and Golden Silker, Dictat, Indian Lodge, Crimpline, then Al Mushtarak there, followed by Valentino, Lermontov and Manhattan. He's come very late, and he's got up to pull this out of the fire and to end the winning sequence of Giant's Causeway. Observatory getting up on the near side. The win for Kevin Darley, the champion jockey-elect. He's got up to win by about a neck to a half length from Giant's Causeway. A real thriller. He knew that the only way he could get to this champion was to come wide and late. That's what he's done, and he's got up to win. Best of the Best in third, then Medician in fourth, followed then by Golden Silker in fifth. In sixth then is Dictat. In seventh is Indian Lodge. In eighth is Crimpline, who got very weary in the straight. In ninth then is Al Mushtarak. And a long gap then to Valentino, who didn't show at all today. No sight at all of Valentino. And still coming, Manhattan is right out there. Lermontov is there, and Manhattan is absolutely last to finish.
Observatory, a third winner for Khalid Abdullah in the race. The owner, Warning in 1988 and Known Fact in 1980. This one at 14 to 1. Second, number 6, Giant's Causeway, the 11 to 10 favourite, and third, number 5, Best of the Best at 7 to 1.
The great Frankel attempting to consolidate his reputation as the world's best. That's it, they're racing.
And Frankel away pretty well and drops in behind them early, and the pacemaker goes on. Bullet Train by 2 or 3 lengths to Dick Turpin is up there in second. Then in third, Dabawi Gold, and just behind them on the near side, Acceleration. In behind them is Frankel, wanting to go half a stride, maybe a stride faster. In behind, being held by Tom Queally, also pulling hard as Side Glance back in the field. They're followed next in the field by Poet's Voice, and last is Immortal Verse. So it's Bullet Train out in front, 6 lengths clear, but they're basically ignoring him. In second is Dick Turpin, 2 away then in third, follows Dabawi Gold, followed next in the field by Acceleration. Now Queally giving this Frankel a little bit more rein, and now he's starting to move up on the outside. Acceleration going with him, followed then by Poet's Voice. They're virtually ignoring the pacemaker, and Frankel has strode up on the outside to lead the maid bunch here. Bullet Train well in front, but it's Frankel who's now about 6 lengths behind his pacemaker, being tracked now by Poet's Voice, and further back Acceleration. They're followed next in the field by Immortal Verse, who's got about 4 lengths to make up on Frankel. So Bullet Train comes back to them at the 2, being tackled now by the stablemate Frankel, who takes it up clearly. Acceleration behind them, followed by Immortal Verse, produced on the far side. A furlong left to go. It's Frankel by 2 lengths, trying hard. Acceleration, he's gone for the whip Queally, but kept going. Frankel goes on to make it 9 out of 9. Exciting, scintillating and sensational.
Now the day would not be complete without us here on Racing UK at Ascot having the chance to talk to Sir Henry Cecil. Frankel, the expectations were enormous and the delivery was equally enormous. Sir Henry, many congratulations. You seem to wear an apparently fairly easy countenance before the race when we got a shot of you. I would imagine there were a few nerves jaggling underneath.
You're obviously nervous for a horse like that, and time of the year too. It's a long year, and he did everything I asked him to. He was very relaxed and won nicely, and delighted with him.
And that really was a feature of today relative to some of the other performances this season, how relaxed he was in every aspect. In the paddock,
good.
Going down, coming back.
Yeah, it's a long year. He started early, it's a long year. I know he had a little bit of a rest, but he did everything I asked him to, and he did it very easy and nicely. And I mean, next year, as long as things stay right, he's very exciting. I mean, he's definitely going to get 1.25 miles, I think, on his head. So you've got a choice, the mile race, 1.25 miles, and I think he's a champion, and he's out of the ordinary, and hopefully it'll continue, and next year he'll continue to prove himself. Yeah?
And today, the Bullet Train experiment was sort of almost as though he wasn't there because the bulk of the field ignored him. Did that concern you in any sense, that Tom was quite far back in the main pack and wasn't tracking Bullet Train?
No, because I know he can pick up Bullet Train whenever he wants, but the main thing he was relaxed. And we didn't have to worry about Bullet Train.
And the obvious question now is, there has been the possibility mooted of him going to America this season. Can you conclusively rule that out now?
Yeah, I talked to the Prince, and I mean, no way would he run again this year. But it's something very exciting for next year if we can keep him right, and look forward to training.
And Tom was saying at the beginning of the day that even today, even in a race as important as this, he had it in his mind that it was all about getting him to go a little further next year. It's quite a horse that you can do that with on such a big stage.
Yeah, but he will. He's relaxing now, and I mean, he's ready to get 1.25 miles, and I'm sure he'll get it. He's going to be pretty effective at 1.25 miles if he does, and I think he will.
Is there any part of you, at any stage of the season, that has been at all surprised by this horse's achievements?
Not really. No. I mean, he's done everything we've asked him, really. In fact, he's done more than we've been asked for more than we really wanted to.
And did you think after you
take Ascot to Newmarket in the Guineas, I mean, he was asking an awful lot.
And did you think when twice over a midday we're doing you such good turns through the last 2 or 3 seasons, well, I might have used up all my luck now, or did you think, there's a better one coming just round the corner? Do you always have to have that thirst for the better horse to sort of stay competitive in this game?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you always. I mean, today twice over. I mean, he seemed to sort of empty out a little bit. It's a rather rough race. They both got really squeezed, and midday got taken right back. She should have finished much closer. No sour grapes, but she should have been much closer than she was. She finished well. I mean, if she'd been in a nice position, she would probably been much more lethal. Twice over, working fantastically well, probably too well. Just flattened out a bit.
Frankel has never flattened out and didn't do so today.
And I'm thrilled with him, and I'm happy with him, and happy for the Prince. And we've got something to look forward to.
Henry, enjoy tonight. and hopefully Frankel will enjoy his winter break. Thank you for chatting to us. Many
When you
congratulations.
say enjoy tonight, what do you mean drive back? I think what?
Well, I was hoping celebrations after.
Yeah, a cup of tea when I get back.
Make sure
I've got my Jane's daughter opening her restaurant with her boyfriend, so I've got today. So I shall join that for a bit. I might even get a free meal.
Where's the restaurant?
In Newmarket.
Fantastic. I wish them the best. Wish you all the best, and hopefully you enjoyed as much as you ought to. Thanks ever so much.
Pleasure.